Athena with Athena's Paranormal Mysteries, and let's get right to it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's episode is about the Double Slit Experiment. Yes, this experiment is crazy. So the Double Slit Experiment was an experiment done by a physicist named Thomas Young in 1901. That's when it was first performed. Basically, Thomas Young wanted to see and finally prove how light behaved, whether it was a particle or a wave. He shot a bunch of photons through these double slits and found out that, hey, photons and light behaves like a particle and a wave. So this experiment was done again in the 60s, but with electrons. And this experiment doesn't really have a name, so we're just going to call it the Double Slit Experiment. So they performed it again with electrons, and my little cartoon friend, Dr. Quantum, is going to tell you all the rest. And right after you come back, after watching this clip, we're going to talk about why the Double Slit Experiment has so much to do with the paranormal. So let's go.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous Double Slit Experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So when we throw things, that is matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. We get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they can interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it right here. So if you guys see what this video is saying, it's basically saying the experiment shot electrons through the two slits, and they caused an interference pattern. They thought, okay, you know what, maybe they're just bouncing off each other, just like what he's saying. But they shot electrons one at a time. They shot an electron, they waited. They shot another electron, they waited. So this way, no electron could bounce off another electron and create an interference pattern. So they tried it this way, but it created an interference pattern anyway. Think about how crazy that is. But wait, it gets even weirder.
But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange netherworld of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this?
Okay, so I'm going to stop that right here. Okay, so you guys, what does this mean? How crazy is that? The simple act of looking at these electrons and observing to see which slits that they went through changed their behavior. Just like Dr. Quantum said, it's as if it knew it was being watched. It's as if there was two realities or multiple realities of this electron, and the simple act of observing collapsed it into one reality. That's insane. It's mind-boggling. Like, I can't get over this. And I know you guys, I know that if you guys haven't seen this experiment, you're probably mind blown right now because it's crazy. So what does this experiment have to do with the paranormal? I really believe that this experiment is our key into understanding astral projection and different dimensions that people have gone through, different realms that people have gone through, whether they're astral projecting or something happens to them and they go into a different dimension, whatever have you. I really do believe that this double slit experiment, quantum physics in general, can be our key to understanding this stuff. Think about it. A lot of people think that astral projecting is fake. They just don't understand it yet. It's never happened to them before. So obviously they think, whenever I tell like friends and family that I've gone into a different dimension, they all look at me like I'm crazy. And I don't blame them because it's never happened to them before. And before it happened to me, I always thought of, okay, you know what, like, I've read about this, but is it really real? Is it really something that actually happens, or is it just meditation? Why did I do this for meditation? Or is it just meditation? Is that what it is? But then it happened to me by accident, and I came out of my body, and I was walking around my house in a different place, but in the same space. And at that moment, I realized, hey, you know what? Astral projecting is real, and I'm literally in a different dimension because I'm seeing other things that don't exist in the dimension that my body, my physical body, is in. So when these electrons go through these double slits, whenever they see that one electron is, theoretically splitting up, interfering with itself and hitting the back wall, Are these electrons going to a different dimension? Are they splitting up? Are they going to two different realities? And when an observer observes, what's going on there? What's happening there? Why did it collapse into one reality? Do you know what I mean? Quantum physics is the microscopic world. It's not governed by the same rules the macroscopic world is governed by, our world. Astral projection isn't understood. From my knowledge, there hasn't been any actual studies that have proven astral projection. Okay, it's just from people's stories, people's experiences that have told us what astral projection is. Could this be a study that takes us into this area and helps us unfold all of the things that we need to understand about astral projection? Like Richard Feynman said, if you understand quantum physics, then you do not understand quantum physics. Same thing with the astral projection. Wow, I really can't talk today, you guys. Same thing with astral projection and different realms where maybe spirits are, or demonic entities, or different things. People think that we're crazy, but physicists also don't really take quantum physics all that serious either. They don't. A lot of physicists think quantum physics is a joke because of a lot of the things that quantum physics theorizes. But that doesn't mean it's not real. That doesn't mean there's no possibilities of it. So I think we should definitely look into the double slit experiment and astral projection and seeing how, if any way possible, we can somehow link these two together. Because it's time that we take people who say that they've been to other dimensions seriously. Okay guys, that's my time. I just wanted to share this amazing experiment with you guys and how I link it to the paranormal. So if you guys have already seen this experiment, great. If you haven't, shoot a comment below to tell me if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, and I would love to hear your comments, or see your comments, sorry, read your comments. There we go. Yeah, so shoot a comment below, comment, like, and subscribe to my channel to get updates for my new videos. I upload 3 times a week, and I will see you very soon. Thank you. Have a good day.